Hey, yo, YouTube Musicman1310 here, and I wanted to talk about something that's pretty much been kind of bugging me recently, actually. The topic of today's video, if you haven't noticed by the title already, is the difference between a bad player versus somebody getting outplayed. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because recently I'm noticing that even when I'm not getting comments or tweets, I still get called a bad player because of my stats. Now, my question is my stats the way it is because I'm a bad player or because there are players that are better than me? Most of the time, I like to think that it's because there are players that are better than me, and that's why they have the better stats, and I completely suck. But there are some cases where I will admit that I was being a bad player. But first off, before I start confusing people, let's clear some things up. First off, if you're a bad player, that means that you don't know what you're doing at all. You're just going in and just hoping for the best every time you go into a match in Call of Duty or in League of Legends or whatever game you play. If you're a player that gets outplayed, that means that you do have an idea of what you're doing and you know pretty much what you plan on doing and how things are going to work in your head, but somebody pretty much stops you from the other team. Now, when it comes to being a bad player, the only way to get better at something is to just keep on playing it. So if you're bad, don't be discouraged by it. Just keep on doing. It's like a lot of people that just stop because they think they're bad. They really just don't know what's going on. Because, okay, let me try to clear things out a bit. If you're a bad player and you stop because of it, then you're never going to improve. Just never. It's not going to happen because your mindset tells you that you are a bad player. I am a bad player. I don't deserve to be playing this. Why am I even still playing this? I'm just going to leave. That's pretty much the mindset of a bad player, and I get a lot of these when I play ranked Call of Duty. Trust me on this one. Now, if you're getting outplayed, that means that you had strategies. You know what you were supposed to have done, but somebody either beat you to it, stopped you, or just simply performed it better than you did. And that's the biggest difference between being bad and being outplayed. It's really the ability to come up with strategies and execute them. Bad players, they don't normally come up with strategies. They just go in really like a chicken without their head, and that's why they're considered bad. Good players, they pretty much come up with a bunch of strategies and fallback plans and all of that. And if their stats say that they're bad, I don't think it's because they're bad. I think it's because they're outplayed. Me, I consider to be outplayed a lot. I know that there are a bunch of people that are better than me in Call of Duty, and especially at League of Legends. I consider myself a bad player in League of Legends. But in Call of Duty, I consider myself to be more or less outplayed because when I go into a match, and especially with my partner Akil, I come up with a few strategies and a few choke points that we need to be careful of that really shows the sense that I know what I'm doing in game, that I know how the game works. I know what should be going on. I have something planned out in my head, and I just need to execute it. Being outplayed, if you didn't see my stream last night, we were outplayed part of the time. Like, if not most of the time, we were just outplayed because those people already knew what we were thinking and prepared ahead of time. The difference between a good player in general and a great player is the ability to predict what your opponents are thinking. Good players, they can strategize, they can formulate ideas with teammates, they can do all that. But great players know what their opponents are thinking and know how to counter that, because a lot of these strategy type games, well, I wouldn't consider Call of Duty a strategy type game. It's more of a team-based game. So a lot of team-based games is all about action, reaction, pick, counter. So pretty much, if you want to be a good player, just keep on playing the game. You'll eventually get the hang of it, and it'll just become natural to you, or more natural to you. I mean, I have to admit, when I started playing Call of Duty on the 360 with Modern Warfare 3, it can take a while to guess at what my KD is. 0.43. I was considered a bad player, and to this day, looking back, no, I was a bad player. There's no getting around it. Going to Black Ops 2, my KD improved 0.75. It's still not good, but it's around there. Ghost, I improved just a little bit to like 0.77, 0.78. We'll just call it 0.8. I'm still improving, and right now my current KDR in Ghost is, hold on, I actually have the game in front of me. My current KDR in Ghost is 0.98. If that is not improvement over the years, then I don't know what is, because I was a bad player coming into console with Modern Warfare 3. But it seems like I just didn't give up, and I've improved. And that's really the whole take on this. If you want to be a good player, you need to improve. Everybody starts off as bad players, but nobody keeps that title. Eventually, people will improve. You will improve as well. But you have to keep on doing, keep on playing the game. Keep on learning. Because a lot of successful people, and I'm talking about those pro players up there, they learn from their mistakes. Let's take Optic, for example. I'm a green wall, so I'm going to go with Optic. Starting off in Advanced Warfare, the first MLG event, I think it was MLG Columbus, they lost to FaZe in 2 best of 5s. Not 1, but 2 best of 5s, and that was at the grand final. Why? Because Optic made tiny mistakes that FaZe picked up on and punished them for it. That is pretty bad. They were just outplayed because of the little mistakes. Optic was outplayed because of the little mistakes that FaZe took advantage of. Now, going back to UMG Orlando, Optic won that tournament. It's like there was no question. Optic won that tournament because they've learned from past games, from previous championships. They learned from their mistakes and they improved themselves better at it. I remember that back in Ghost, actually, I remember rooting for Optic to become the first place X Games team because I really wanted them to win, and they won. Now this has nothing to do with me because they've been working on it for pretty much some time. They might have had a break here or there, but they had a bunch of synergy together for Ghost that they managed to beat EG, the top team since Black Ops 2, up until Advanced Warfare when they dropped completely. Now granted, Optic Gaming didn't do that great. They pretty much ended up like 4th, 5th, 6th placings afterwards, but still, they improved. And one of the reasons, or one of the ways that shows they improved, is by the change of their team roster. Trading, well, I don't know if it's trading, but I'm going to call it trading. They traded Clayster for Formal. Clayster moved on to Envy. Formal came to Optic after a Halo tournament that he won. They also put Roofy in Optic Nation with Ricky and with Killa. Or Miracles, whatever the roster was at the time. But still, it was an improvement, and now they have Crimsix. Optic is a Slayer-heavy team right now, but it works for them. It shows that they've improved because they already have an Advanced Warfare tournament under the belt. Now, in case you forgot, Black Ops 2 Complexity had a 15-16 win-loss record. Out of 16 matches, they won 15 of them. What if, and I know this is just what if, but bear with me on this. What if, for Optic Gaming, that MLG Columbus that they lost early on was their one loss? And I'm telling this story because this shows that if the pros can improve on past mistakes, then it's easy for everybody to improve on past mistakes. So if you're bad, just keep on playing. You'll get the hang of it eventually. If you don't feel comfortable playing ranked or competitive or anything like that, then don't. Just play the game for fun. That's really the best way to learn the mechanics of any game. Now, if you're consider yourself a good player, to be great, learn how your opponents are thinking. Learn how what they're doing. Do you see a lot of your opponents going around the corners, turning around, and going prone? Look at the floor. That would work for me a lot. No, a lot. And me personally, I still think that I'm improving. I went from ranked to UMG and MLG, and even though I'm starting off bad in both of those, I still have room for improvement. One thing to keep in mind from all this is that there's always room for improvement. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more. I do have a Twitter, it'll be in the description below, and this is the Music Man 1310 signing out. Peace.